Alright guys, here's what's on the bench today. It's my Fernandes TEJ Tele style guitar. It needs new strings, it needs all shined up. Let's get started on this thing, make this thing look nice. Here we go. Okay, so it's a Fernandes Tele style. And you can see that the strings are really old on it. Made in Japan guitar. You can see the strings are wound around here the wrong direction. But, you know, Fernandes just recently filed for bankruptcy. And I have this one that has been sitting around here for kind of a long time now. Let's shine this thing up. Let's get it going. Put new strings on it. Let's test on the electronics and just try to make this a good playing guitar. Here we go. I'm gonna, well, you know what? Let's test the electronics with the strings on here so we can see what it sounds like. Okay, the output jack feels nice and tight. Good. Electronics seem fine. Got my rebar string winder. Get these strings off of here. So maybe some of you guys have heard that Fernandes Guitars has filed for bankruptcy. Apparently they're $400 million, over $400 million in debt.
That's a lot of money.
They can't come back from that, so they've decided to declare bankruptcy. I have a used guitar shop here, and I have a lot of this kind of stuff. And you can sort of walk around my store and look at different brands of guitars. And some of them are close to going out of business. Some of these brands from back in the day, they're getting very close to where you could walk around and you could almost tell yourself, I think this brand's going to go out of business soon. You know, there's these different brands that might be going out of business. But at the same time, there's a lot of new brands that are starting business too. So, you know, you've got all those Amazon kind of guitars and everything that are out now, and people are buying them. And not so much buying the Fernandes stuff anymore. But again, I think that was their own problem for, well, I was watching Philip McKnight's live stream yesterday, and he was talking about Fernandes going out of business, and they had no media presence as far as McKnight is concerned. You never saw commercials about him. He said that he reached out to Fernandes and say, hey, I'll do some reviews on some of your guitars, and Fernandes Guitars never got back to him and different things like that. So after all these years and years of selling guitars, they were uninterested in doing any you know, social media or anything like that. No new ads, nothing like that. They weren't pushing the brand. Now, you know, I've been to a lot of the NAMM shows recently, and I don't even recall Fernandes Guitars being at the NAMM shows. I went in 2020 and I don't remember seeing them there. I do remember seeing Aria Pro. And a lot of times Aria Pro or Area Pro guitars is, they're sort of associated with Fernandes in a weird way. They were both Japanese brands, and they were both very similar in a lot of ways. But I sort of have had my radar on Fernandes guitars. And I do remember years and years ago watching Nirvana and Kurt Cobain had his Fernandes. Okay, so I think I'm just going to clean on this thing for a little while here just to get us started. I can see that it has a Fender style bridge here that is very similar to Fender. You can see we got some rusty springs back here. A lot of times all that made in Japan stuff, because of the high amount of humidity in Japan, if this spent any time in Japan, it got rusty. And then I think a lot of them ended up in Seattle, which is another very humid city. And so they get rusty. You can see these are Grover tuners. Bit of rust on them. So I mean, I could take the whole thing apart and super clean it, or I could just kind of give it a quick little wipe down and restring it and then hang it on the wall out in the front showroom and see if I can sell this thing. Leave me some comments on Fernandes. What do you guys know about Fernandes guitars and all that kind of stuff? I know that they also made Bernie guitars, which were those Les Paul copies, and I didn't realize that until earlier in the week. I had no idea. So if any of you guys see a Bernie Les Paul out in the world, you might want to snag on that, because nobody is ever going to make those just like that ever again. Alright, so I do see this little spot right here. And when you get a little spot like that in the guitar body, I have a little paint marker, and I don't think it hurts anything to dab my black paint marker on that little spot right there, just to disguise that. There we go. I got that paint marker at Space Age Auto, which is over here in Mesa, Arizona, and they sell automotive paints. Let's take a look under the truss rod adjustment cover right here, and hopefully these little tiny screws will work with me here, and I can get these things out of here. There we go. Okay, so you guys can see underneath there that it does have a nut on the end of the truss rod. So let's see what size that fits there. Is it the same as a Gibson? This is my Gibson wrench. Yep. So seems like it's should function properly. Wow, super tight. But there it is. That's a sign of quality right there. Okay, so I'm going to clean the fretboard and clean the frets. Get these babies nice and shiny. I have my fret guard right here. And I have a little bit of sandpaper that I have folded over, and I've used it a couple of times. And so I just hit these frets a little bit. I'm not trying to level them or crown them or anything like that. Just getting the dirt off of them. maybe a little bit of rust. Super quick and easy. The frets to me feel, they're pretty small frets. They're kind of wide, but they're not very tall. But there's probably one good level and crown that you could do on this guitar. It does have the binding on the side, which is nice. Binding looks good. Okay, and then let's take some of this D'Addario lemon oil. And we'll put some lemon oil on this neck. This is a rosewood fingerboard on this. And I think we can just kind of smear this lemon oil on there. Let this stuff soak in. And it cleans it, it hydrates it. There we go. Looking good. Okay, I got a little bit of furniture polish. And I'm just going to shine on the headstock here for a while. Fernandes Electric Sound Research Group. Okay, let's go ahead and snug these tuners down. It helps with its overall tuning stability. I've always used my 10mm open-end wrench for that. There's different tools you can use. That's the one that I prefer. It's quick and easy for me. Okay, that's looking better. I'm going to hold off on putting the truss rod cover back on until the strings are on, and then we can really test the action and really set it up. So I will leave that off until then. Got a little McGuire's, and we'll put a little bit of that on the back here just to shine this thing up a little bit. See, oh, way too much. Way too much. Just shine on it a little. So the whole reason for doing this is because I have a used guitar shop, so it really helps to shine a guitar up when you're going to try to resell it, right? Oh, look at that. I got some stuff off that back plate. Hopefully all the paint doesn't come with it. Okay, now let's kind of did. I rubbed some of that off of there. So like I said, this guitar is for sale. If you want to call the store. When you guys call the store about one of my videos, double check the upload date on when I did the video, because once in a while somebody will call me and they're like, hey man, I really like that guitar from the video. And I'm like, okay, what video was that? And we have a discussion about it, we talk about it. Then it comes to find out that I did that video over a year ago, and that guitar is long gone. Alright, so there we go. It's kind of shined up a little bit now. And the fingerboard is clean. You know, I guess what I'm going to do is go around. Let's do a little bit of that wax on the top here. Just to shine them up a little bit. Happy guitars when they're shiny. Being in a used guitar shop, I try to shine everything up. Do you know what? Sometimes those relic guitars, they make life easy. You don't have to shine those things up. They hold their value after they get beat up. But this one needs shine. Probably could take the knobs off, really get in there. Some things you want to leave for your customer, right? Customers, they buy a guitar, they don't want to get in there. They want to restring it with the strings that they prefer. Oh, I just did that. I just broke the three-way tip off of there. Accidentally somehow. Let me look and see if I have one of those. That's what happens when you get too aggressive. But the guitar is looking good. And I think I have a whole bunch of those tips anyhow, so not a big deal. Okay. Today's string choice. Okay, today's string choice. And I want to thank AI generated Creed for that jingle. Thank you guys. Okay, here we go. Fender 9-gauge. Let's put some Fender strings on this thing. Pretty sure Fender strings are made by D'Addario right now. 2019 Fender Musical Instruments. Pure nickel wound ball and 9 through 42s on this beautiful guitar. And they have the ball ends are different colors, and they're the old classic Fender colors like Lake Placid blue and graffiti yellow and seafoam green. Old classic colors. Alright, just tuning it up here, and left hand over here to protect the nut and stretch on the strings a little bit. Part of a good restring is to stretch the strings. You got to be careful up here on this B string and the high E string, of course, because they will break quick. There we go. And then let's put it in standard tuning. That's what the average guy in a guitar shop wants it to be when they strum it. I'm telling you, E flat though is such a great tuning. The whole world is in E flat now. Okay, so let's double check this tuning, check our intonation. D string is spot on. G string's looking good. B string is good. Yeah, I think it's intonated properly. Let me just take a look at these saddles now. Oh, those look good. The neck looks like it has maybe a little too much relief in it, so I'll take my notched straight edge, set that down in here like this, and we can see how much relief is in the neck right here. And there is a lot. So the neck is doing this kind of thing, right? So with this takes a Gibson style truss rod tool, right? And I'm just going to stick this in here. We're going to snug on this thing. Full tension on the strings. Come on now, baby. Go. Oh. Oh, man. I don't know if it's going to go more than that. I don't want to force it. It's got a lot of relief still in there. I don't want to force it. That's as good as I'm going to get it. I don't want to go crazy on it. Keep that in mind if you guys are interested in the guitar. There is going to be a little bit of relief in the neck. Now if you take all the strings off of the guitar and you snug that truss rod down without string tension on it, you might be able to get it a little bit better than what I just did right there. But I think basically we are good, so I'm going to put the truss rod cover back on it and plug it into an amp and see what it sounds like. So I went ahead and I raised this pickup a little bit right here. It was setting kind of low. And I was able to get a tip on that three-way switch right there. Alright, this thing's ready to go. Good home somewhere. It's a beautiful guitar. Really good condition. Guys, give me a call. And again, thank you so much for watching the channel. We do this channel just for you guys. Everybody have a great day. Go buy a guitar.